Peterson is propagating various views. He's trying to get support for them. And the way to deal with that is to allow him to speak, but allow people like me and others who don't like his ideas to be critical of them.
He may be controversial, he may be objectionable, but he has a right to speak. Dr. Jordan Peterson is in Ottawa this week as part of a tour promoting his latest book, Beyond Order, 12 More Rules for Life. But the speaking engagement is being opposed by a group of local community organizations on the basis that Peterson's speech attacks marginalized communities. But James Turk, director of the Toronto Metropolitan University Centre for Free Expression, says nothing Peterson said so far would justify silencing him.
And the courts in these cases have said that really for someone to engage in hate, they have to be portraying the object of their comments as less than human, is not worthy of consideration as members of the human race. Less than that, the fact that something is offensive or may harm your dignity and so on can be contested, but it's not illegal.
But those opposed to Peterson say he already meets that standard. Peterson first came to prominence opposing Bill C-16, which made gender identity and gender expression protected under the Human Rights Act.
He referred to Catherine McKenney, who was running for mayor previously in the Ottawa election, referred to them as an appalling self-righteous thing. To describe a trans person as a thing is despicable and dehumanizing language, and that shows exactly where Jordan Peterson stands.
Faye Johnstone's organization is one of 36 that have signed an open letter asking the event be canceled. They range from community health groups to the queer committee of a local teachers union. Even a historical fencing society has signed the letter, which also highlights Peterson's support for anti-vaccine mandate protests as grounds for their opposition. Johnstone says there's been no response to the letter from the Canadian Tire Centre, but adds that getting the event cancelled wasn't the only goal.
The act of opposing his presence in our city is fundamental to communicating to marginalized folks in the city that they're not alone in opposing his presence.
Turk says this opposition, just like Peterson's, is free expression. Turk highlights that while expressing opposition is fundamental to a democratic society, it'd be too much to see Peterson's event canceled.
That public discourse cannot be limited other than by courts and at a very high bar, cannot be limited without undermining the very essence of democracy.
We are in fact using our freedom of expression when we criticize him, and we as trans folks have every right to express our individuality in a democratic society by asking people to use the right names, the right pronouns, and again, to just treat us with basic respect.
In Ottawa, Shally Lee, City News.
They or Z, you would say